This is The Death Code, a Remi Laurent FBI suspense thriller, Book 1, by Ava Strong, narrated by Kevin E. Green. Prologue. Glencairn Museum, Brynathin, Pennsylvania. Midnight. Ted Peterson walked through the great hall, his shoes echoing in the darkness as he moved the beam of his flashlight around. 20 years on the job next month, and he still couldn't get over the beauty of this place. The great hall was built to resemble some palatial feasting room of medieval Europe. Ted's light played over a couple of saint statues and some centuries-old furniture of velvet and mahogany before moving up to the balcony, where, along the wall, hung several different types of polearms. Ted knew the names of them all: halberd, glaive, spetum. His light reached towards the ceiling, the darkness of the vast space swallowing the beam to allow only the shadowy hint of Gothic arches and wooden beams. His light moved down, running along the keen edge of a German Zweihander sword, nearly as long as his own 5 foot 8 inches height, before moving to the graceful tripartite stained-glass windows. Ted stopped before reaching them and let out a sigh. During the day, with the light streaming through, the saints on them glowed with breathtaking colour, and the floor of the great hall was carpeted in a rainbow pattern. He played his light over the figures, catching a faint glimmer of the light he knew he'd see in tomorrow's glorious sunrise, and smiled. He always made sure to be in the great hall at sunrise. The security guard headed out of the great hall, continuing his rounds. He paused at an Attonian ivory in its glass case. It was the cover of some book from the 10th century, the volume itself long vanished, leaving only its glorious cover. A delicately carved crucifixion was framed with a border of colourful enamel and gold filigree, a masterpiece of pre-Renaissance art. The beam of his flashlight made the centuries-old ivory seem almost translucent, and gleamed off the coloured enamel and gold. And they called this era the Dark Ages. Ted smiled. Of the more than 8,000 objects in the museum, this was one of his favourites. Such detail, so much work and artistry had gone into it. He could give an hour-long lecture on just this piece. In fact, he could do the same with most of the objects here, thanks to years of enthusiastic reading, and a few precious trips he'd managed to pay for by scrimping and saving from his meagre salary. Yeah, this job paid pretty badly. At least he didn't have a wife or kids to support.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?